that my holistic path began when I was pregnant with my daughter, so 16 years ago. And I stopped putting relaxers in my hair because, they say don't put relaxers or chemicals in your hair when you're pregnant. So I stopped. And I'm like, okay, well, what am I going to do with my hair? I'm working in corporate America. Back then, this style was not it. So, my sister, she was actually in cosmetology school, and her profession was leaning towards natural hair. And so she's like, you can do your hair and straighten it without having to put a relaxer in. So I said, okay, cool. That's what I'll do. And then, eventually I started trying to figure out, okay, well, what else can I do with my hair? Like, how can I make it grow now that it's natural? I'm not putting chemicals in it. Surely it's probably going to be able to grow longer and do all of these different things. And so that's when I stumbled upon essential oils. And I made my very first product, which is the hair growth stimulant, which I still have. However, it's much better now. And I was just figuring out, like, okay, what is it with this natural stuff? And as I continued to research, like, just products that I could use to grow my hair, I started stumbling upon information that was talking about, like, the ingredients and the stuff that we use, like just basic body care products. And I realized that a lot of the things that we use are what's called carcinogenic, meaning that it can cause cancer. And so one day I just sat down in my bathroom and I went through everything that I had in my cabinet and I just Googled the ingredients. And come to find out, pretty much everything that I had was carcinogenic. I ended up throwing everything away. And then I was led on the path, okay, now what do I do? Like, what kind of soap can I use? How do I brush my teeth if everything is carcinogenic? And that's when I started making my own products. That's when I started asking and praying, what am I supposed to be doing? I was working in Coca-Cola, and I absolutely loved my job at Coca-Cola. But I knew that it was time for me to transition to something else because I felt like I wasn't being fulfilled to my highest potential. And one day, one of the ladies at my job, she's like, what are you using on your hair? And I said, oh, I've been using this oil that I make. And she's like, oh, can I buy some? And that was it. That's when Essential Oils Boutique began, because I said, oh my goodness, she wants to buy it. And that's when I realized that my prayer had been answered. And so I went from there on the path of, okay, now how do I turn this into a business? At that time, I was actually in an MBA program. It's like, okay, this is not what I want to do. So I was so thankful that I got that light bulb came off, and I just started researching how to start a business. I got married, moved to Columbus. The only condition that I told my now ex-husband was, if I move to Columbus, I have to be able to open up a boutique, and he agreed, and that's how Essential Oils Boutique. And so that's pretty much how I began my holistic path, was just from my hair, wanting to learn about my hair. And then ever since then, I've just been on this ever growing just journey of learning about different ways to heal myself, to just become better and to do better, to choose different things that maybe doesn't seem familiar, but the things that actually work. And so I learned that that's what my purpose is really to share those different things to people and allow them to also get an understanding of what holistic living is, holistic practices are. So that's what I'm here for today. And when we talk about the word holistic just means whole. It's whole. And so it combines your mind, your body, and your spirit. Sometimes when you hear that, it sounds like this taboo thing. Everybody's just saying mind, body, spirit, but it really has a purpose. So when you think about holistic living, you always have to remember that you have to bring in all aspects of everything that you do has to contain all three of those aspects. It has to be mental, it has to be physical, and it has to be spiritual. Every single thing that you do. And when you start bringing in all those aspects and everything that you do, that's when you begin the healing process. And I can share just how did I come to that understanding? So there was a time that I battled with depression. And for me, I knew, because when you're feeling down, you don't want to do things, or you have all of these different emotions and stuff. So I knew that I was dealing with depression, and I really didn't want to go the medicine route, because I already know what that means. If you start taking medication, then you're going to end up taking more medication, and it's just like especially for mental health. So I didn't want to do that, and I just started researching, how do I heal myself naturally from depression. And interestingly, what kept coming up was food. And I'm like, why would food be related to depression? Like, what does that have to do with me being depressed? And I learned that a lot of the foods that we eat can cause emotional issues within you. And so let's just take, for an example, if you eat, let's just say a chicken, right? The chicken is in this area where it is unhappy, it's stressed out, it's being abused or whatever. Then they take this chicken, they slaughter it, put it into a package and put it in the grocery store. Then we go and we purchase it intentionally, and then we cook it, giving it more trauma, and then we allow it to enter into the temple. And so what happens is you are now bringing on all of that stress, all of that trauma into your body, and it doesn't necessarily have to do with anything that you may be going through, but you are taking on the energy from that animal. And so when I learned that, I was just like, wow. That's when I became vegetarian. I actually became raw. In order for me to overcome depression, I ended up becoming a raw vegetarian. So I only ate raw food. And the reason why is because I learned that the more natural things that you put into your body, you're actually building up your energy, you're building up all of your cells, you're replenishing, rejuvenating. And, so that is the physical aspect, right? Of let's just say overcoming depression. The physical aspect is now looking at the foods that you're eating. The spiritual aspect of depression is, okay, well, what is your purpose? Like, what are you here for? What are you doing? Why are you doing it? And when you start learning that's when you have to start learning about yourself, getting to know who you are, getting to really accept who you are, and be okay with expressing yourself. That is the spiritual aspect of healing. And then the mental aspect of healing, of course, is just knowing. So I knew that I was depressed. Like, nobody had to tell me, give me a diagnosis. Nobody had to, I didn't have to go to a counselor and all of these different things. I knew it. And one thing about that, people try to make it seem like depression is something that's bad. It is not bad. It's an emotion. It happens. Like, everyone is going to deal with it sometime in their life, and the way that you overcome it is by learning when it happens what to do. So if I get into a depressed state now, I already know the first thing that I'm going to do is look at the foods that I'm eating, change the foods that I'm eating, and then I'm going to start questioning myself, like, okay, what is happening? Why am I in this state right now? What am I doing that I should not be doing, or what should I be doing to just change the situation? Because everything comes back to you. Sometimes we like to blame everybody else for the situation that you're in, but it's really you. You are in control of your own life, and you have the power to change things the way that you want it to go. So when it comes to what is known as depression, it's really it's not anything bad. It's an emotion. It happens, but it is bad if you don't take control and do something about it and change the situation. So that is the mental aspect of it all. And so it's basically mind, body, spirit is balance. People are like, well, you can't have balance. Yeah, you really can have balance. It's not saying that is the easiest thing to do, right? But you have to strive for it and work towards that every single day. Like yesterday, I made a decision that I'm going to stop eating meat for the rest of September. And then I said, okay, I think I'm going to stop eating sweets too. But guess what? Today, after I picked my son up from school, we went to Brewster's, right? And then I went to go pick my daughter up, and she's like, Mommy, I thought you said you wasn't eating sweets. And I was like, oh, so it's not saying that you have to be like on this perfect, like things are just going to go perfect all the time. Sometimes you're going to have a hiccup. But that doesn't mean that you give up. I'm not going to say, oh, well, since I ate the ice cream today, that's it. I can't do it anymore. No, I'm going to continue, because there is a reason why my body is requesting me to stop eating. And that's another thing, is listening to yourself, listening to what your body is asking you to do, being mindful of why your body is asking you to do these things, and then having the discipline enough to actually follow through. And the discipline part is the most difficult part of it all, because it takes a lot of, pushing and saying no, and, making different changes that you may not be comfortable with, but that is a part of the balance. So one of the other things that I wanted to share today are just some simple tips on how how to live holistically. Holistic living is very simple, and it's not about like removing things from your life. It's about bringing more things in. So, so instead of me having the ice cream, I should have ate an orange. But my mind, sometimes the mind can lead you in places if you don't take control. If you don't stop and take control, your mind can lead you to places that you don't want to be. So it's not so much about removing it, because yeah, eventually I will eat ice cream. But today I should have had the orange. So it's about making replacements with a lot of things, getting more movement in. Movement is so important, and it's simple. Park your car a little further and just take a walk. Walk to the entrance of the grocery store. Try to just walk. Wherever you are, you have to have walking areas where you are. But today I was working and I had to go run to the grocery store to get something to continue my work. And when I got outside, I was like, oh my goodness, it's so pretty out. And I went on a run. I did a 1 mile run, just because it was just beautiful outside. So, just go and take a walk, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, build yourself up to that. Because as we age, muscles start to deteriorate. So you need to start really thinking about preserving your muscles, as well as just moving your body around, so that you don't, you're not just holding stagnant energy in your body and allowing it to cause different symptoms of dis-ease in your body. So that's one of the things, that's one of the most simplistic ways to bring balance into your life. And that's really it. I don't want to make it seem like holistic living is just something that you have to change your whole lifestyle, or oh, now you have to start meditating, or you have to start doing all of these different things. You don't have to do anything except for the things that you need to do for yourself, for you personally. So the question would be, okay, when I look at my life or my living regimen, what is it that I'm doing that I probably shouldn't be doing and it's hurting me? And what is it that I can do? What can I add into my life that is going to help me to allow me to live longer? Allow me to be able to see grandbabies grow up. I know that's what my desire is, to be able to see my grandbabies, see my great grandbabies. And so in order for me to be able to do that and be able to enjoy them, I have to maintain my health now. And so that when I'm older, I'm not in this place where I can't enjoy my great grandbabies and great grandbabies. That is the only reason why I'm doing all of this stuff. So, those are the questions that I would say that you can consider for yourself is, one, what am I doing now that is harming me? And what can I do to help me become better? And just start, begin whatever it is that you can do right now, do it right now and begin. One of the other things that I really think makes a lot of difference is breath work. So if you don't know me, I do a lot of meditating. I offer meditation sessions because I want people to understand how important it is to breathe. Most people are not breathing correctly, right? You think you're breathing correctly, but you are not. So I want to share with you just basic breathing technique, proper breathing techniques. So there are many, many different types of breath work that you can do. And when you start, if you start studying meditation or breathing, you're going to see the word prana. Prana is life force energy. So when we breathe in life force energy. And when we exhale, we release the toxins, right? Because as we breathe, we are breathing in toxins, okay? So everybody is toxic because we just live in a toxic environment. And so no one is healed. You're never going to be 100% healed. You are every day, every second of the minute, you are working towards healing. And that is by being conscious of your breath, being conscious of your food, being conscious of your actions, being conscious of your words. Okay, so the breath is, if you think about a balloon, when you blow into a balloon, the balloon expands, right? Then when you let the air out of the balloon deflates. And so you have to think of your body as a balloon. When you inhale, you should be expanding. And when you exhale, everything should be going in, because you are bringing in life force energy. And when you exhale, you're releasing, you letting go of the stagnant energy. So that's something that you have to practice. It's not like I promise you, you're not breathing that way. And actually, let's just take a minute and let's just practice that basic prana breathing technique. So I want everybody to just place your hands on your belly. And if you can, just sit up in a nice straight posture, because you always want to make sure that your posture is in alignment. So your spine needs to be straight up, okay? And always correct your posture, because yeah, we do a lot of neck down, we do a lot of hunching and slumping. When you remember, always just correct your posture. Feet flat on the floor. Make sure your spine is aligned. Reason why is because energy flows better. So if this is your spine, you have energy flowing around your spine. If your spine is, like this all the time, energy can't flow. And stagnant energy is what causes symptoms of disease. So let's sit up straight. Put your hands on your abdomen. And you can just gently close your eyes if you like. And just relax. And I just want you to take a nice inhale in through your nose. And you're just going to allow your abdomen to expand, to get full. Then exhale through your nose and just feel your abdomen coming in. Inhale. So the breath is very slow, taking your time. Exhale. And on your exhale, just kind of imagine your belly button just going all the way to your back. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, expanding your abdomen. Exhale, bring your abdomen in. And you want these breaths to be through your nose. So you're inhaling through your nose. Exhale through your nose, bringing the abdomen in. Inhale. Exhale. And the last one together, inhale, expanding your abdomen. And exhale, bringing the abdomen in. Okay. And you can open your eyes when you're ready. So that right there was meditation, okay? It doesn't have to be all candles and all the music and all of the things. Meditation is basically hearing. So you just took time to just follow your breath. You listen to your breath. You listen to your breath come in and you listen to it go out. You can use your breath for a lot of different things. So let's just say you had a little pain on your shoulder or something. You could take that breath, inhale, bring that prana, the life force energy, to the shoulder, and then exhale, release. So you're letting go of whatever stagnant energy that's there, and just keep doing that. Inhaling into the shoulder, exhale. So that's the way that you use the breath. And to me, that is the simplest way to work with healing. Healing means to just become better, right? It's nothing more. That's the definition of healing, is to become better. And so the breath is the simplest way to heal yourself. Be conscious about it. You can do it anywhere you are. When you're driving, when you're at the grocery store, you can take yourself into that conscious breath. Just don't close your eyes when you're driving, but everything is just meditation, just being relaxed, being grateful, being thankful. No matter what the situation is surrounding you, you can breathe and you can allow the breath to bring you to what's called homeostasis, just balance. So those are the two things that I want to leave you with to just begin your holistic living every day, is being conscious with your breath, and to ask yourself, what is something that I'm doing that is harming me, and what can I do to help me become better? Okay, so thank